everyone, Poker2Nite here for Card Player TV for another edition of the Poker Buzz. Today we're going to talk about a brand new poker show premiering tonight on FSN. It's called Poker2Nite and we've got Joe Sebok on the phone to talk about it. He's one of the co-hosts of the show. Hi Joe, how are you?
Hey Christy, what's going on?
Not much, just want to talk to you about your new show, Poker2Nite. Now you've been filming for the last couple days, so you're pretty exhausted, huh?
What's this? There's a new show? Poker2Nite? What?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, we actually went into film yesterday. We had a call time, Huff and I did, at 7:45. So it was it was interesting. You know, it was both of ours first foray kind of into doing television. So it's a little tough. There's some learning curves, but we feel like we're going to put something pretty cool together eventually.
Now, can you tell us what the premise of the show is? Is it more of a poker news show?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's kind of in the same vein of, you know, I guess if I had to compare it to anything, probably SportsCenter. You know, so we're trying to provide sort of a SportsCenter for poker, but of course we also want to kind of incorporate as much of that Poker Road kind of humor and sensibility into it as we can. So not only is it me and Huff that are actually hosting the show, but Joe Stapleton is the head writer. So there's going to be a lot of sort of similar stuff that people are used to over on the site. But, you know, we're going to throw some stuff in. We have some video packages where we go out and talk to different people. And Lacey Jones actually is going to be doing some off-site interviews at some of the different tournaments and things like that. So, you know, we kind of have an idea of what it is now, but we're hoping that it develops into more. You know, we don't want to cap it yet.
Now, you mentioned Huff. Not everybody knows who Scott Huff is, so can you tell us a little bit more about your co-host?
Yeah, well, Huff is basically the guy who invented, you know, Poker2Nite, if you will. Of course, he started with the circuit, you know, back in the day with Card Player and Mike Matusow before, you know, Gavin Smith and I crashed that party and kind of took it over. And, you know, he's kind of done a little bit of everything, you know, from that point. He's done so many radio shows, you know, God only knows how many poker radio shows the kid has done at this point. But, you know, when I first got involved, he was kind of the first guy that I knew I needed to get involved, you know, Joe Stapleton being the second, sort of on the back end. But yeah, he kind of holds the whole thing together. You know, he drives the train, and I just get to sit there and kind of hang out. So he really does the heavy lifting.
Where does Poker2Nite fit in with all of the poker TV shows out right now? It's obviously not a game show. It's more of a news show. So what can this show give poker viewers that other shows can't?
Well, hopefully it's its own genre, like you said. You know, it's not exactly the game shows that everyone else is doing, which are cool and fun. But for us, we kind of wanted to build something that, you know, all the poker fans could have and could come to and, you know, hear the funny stories that maybe they would hear on ESPN or be able to, you know, hear us, you know, having guests on the show, which we're definitely going to be doing as well. Just taking them a little bit more inside that poker world, you know, on television, which to this point has never happened. You know, it's always been something that we've talked about sort of over in our camp, you know, whether it's me and Stapes and Huff and, you know, Amanda Leatherman and all those different, you know, people that are involved. We always wanted to do something like this. And now we finally get a chance, you know. So I like to think like I said, we're creating our own genre and just giving people sort of another look, you know, inside the world of poker, you know, something that doesn't exist right now.
So the show premieres tonight. Is there any little sneak peeks you can give us on what to expect tonight?
Well, I mean, definitely tune in. I mean, we're a little bit nervous because, you know, obviously we haven't done TV like we said, and it's going to be going out nationally tonight, so we're a little bit paranoid. But, you know, I think people are going to have fun. You know, our first guest is Lama Karen, obviously one of the voices of the World Series of Poker. So he flew down to L.A. to sit down with us. So that's, you know, a bit of a sneak peek. And, you know, we just kind of go through some of what's going on in the world of poker right now. So obviously we talk a little World Series, we talk a little Durr signing, you know, all that kind of good fun stuff. So people can really look for, you know, us to kind of touch on all of the stories that are going on in poker for that particular week. And if there's nothing going on, we're pretty creative. So we'll probably end up making some stuff up that we can incorporate into it.
Now, just a personal question. You know, you've played a lot of poker, but you've really gotten into poker media with Poker Road and now this new show. How are you balancing playing at the same time as all your other endeavors?
I know, I'm an idiot. The truth is, I'm an idiot. Before I started getting, you know, so involved into all this media stuff, you know, I was doing all right. I was bubbling final tables, you know, as everybody knows. making a little bit of money. But now, it's tough. I mean, it's very, very difficult to balance. I mean, and now it's just adding another thing. So not only is it working with UB, now we have the Poker2Nite show in addition to, Poker Road Radio, in addition to actually running Poker Road, and you add all that up into actually trying to play poker occasionally, and it's tough. I'm kind of learning on the fly. I don't think that anyone has kind of tried to do all of this, at least on this level, as much as I am. So it's definitely a learning process, and it's not something that I have down to a science yet. And one of the things that sucks is that, my poker results have suffered. There's no question about it. I'll still have a hit here and there, but it's not sort of the consistency that I had before because the focus gets pulled off of the tables, when you have to get into so many of these other media things. So I'll figure it out, man. I'm trying.
Well, you're definitely one of the hardest working people in this industry. Now, tell our viewers where and when we can watch the show.
So we're going to be shooting on Tuesdays, and it's going to air on Wednesday nights on Fox.Net. They have a billion affiliates, so wherever you are, whether you're in Florida or Montana or California or whatever, my advice is just do a search for Poker2Nite. Of course, it's spelled kind of funky for whatever reason. We've had some conversations and arguments about it, but it's poker, the number 2, and then N-I-T-E. Do a search for that on FSN. You should be able to find it. It's going to be on Wednesday nights, but it's also going to re-air, all throughout the weekend. So it's on just tons of times. So you guys should really have no trouble finding it, but you may have to search a little bit initially.
Check your local listings. All right. Thank you so much, Joe. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Christy.